Hey, what's up? Trevor here from Better Youth Ministry. Today I want to talk about 3 small choices that you might be making that are holding your ministry back in big ways. If you're ready, let's get started. All right, so here we go. 3 small choices that hold your ministry back in big ways, because we're all familiar with small choices that have big consequences after a little time has passed. For example, eating fast food. We all know that eating fast food will hurt your health. Now, it doesn't always happen immediately. In fact, it usually doesn't. And there's just something that tastes so good about that McDouble for 99 cents. Tasty, but it's going to hurt your health. Not immediately, but eventually. So I still remember the first time I saw a documentary called Super Size Me. The documentary where this guy ate only McDonald's food for 30 days. And I was shocked by what I saw. I mean, if you've ever seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This guy gained 24 pounds and just had terrible mood swings throughout the whole month. And that was just a small choice. Eating fast food, it's a small choice with long-term negative consequences. On the other hand, there are small choices with positive long-term consequences also. So changing the oil in your car, it's an example. You could keep driving, ignoring the change oil light on your dashboard, but that would be bad for your engine. So you stop, you get the oil changed, and in doing that, you extend the life of your engine. Or how about this small choice? In 2005, Facebook, at that time was just this little known startup company out in California. They asked a graffiti artist named David Cho to paint their offices. And so he had the choice. He could accept a few $1,000s for his work, or he could take the same amount of money in the form of Facebook stock. Now, Facebook hadn't even monetized at that point, so who even knew what that was going to be valued at? And when the company finally went public, by the way, he took the stock option. And when the company finally went public, almost 7 years later, this guy cashed in his stock for $200 million. How about that for a payday? This graffiti artist, instead of taking a couple of $1,000s, cashed it in 7 years later for $200 million. Small choice, big, long-term, positive result. So when it comes to your ministry, there are also choices that you make. They're small, sometimes subtle choices that will either hold your ministry back or propel your ministry forward. And what I've found is that the choices that hold your ministry back are usually just the easy ones. I mean, I'm not saying that the choices themselves are easy to make. What I'm saying is that we take the easy way out, so that when it comes time to actually make the choice, we just tend to go the easier way. I mean, maybe we don't want to be disruptive, or maybe we don't have the energy to make that harder, better choice, or maybe we just don't have the leverage yet at our church or in our ministry to actually change things in the direction that they need to be changed. Whatever the reason, though, we often take the easy way. The choice gets made, and the ministry remains stagnant as a result. So what I'm claiming here is that if you took the harder way, did the harder thing, made the harder choice, then your ministry would move forward in ways that you can't even dream of right now. So what are these small choices? Let's take a look. Choice number 1, 3 small choices that are holding your ministry back. Choice number 1, you can do ministry alone, or you can do ministry together. And here's the deal. We all know this. At your church, you're probably expected to wear a lot of hats around the church. I mean, you prepare messages, plan services, choose songs, go to schools, recruit volunteers, attend meetings, all kinds of other things. Now, if you try to do everything yourself, you'll end up cheating both your ministry and yourself. Your ministry will suffer because you just can't be great at everything. You are a youth worker, not a superhero. That means that you have strengths and you have weaknesses. Now, for the sake of quality, you need to work on your strengths and hand off your weaknesses to other people. But that's not all. I mean, your ministry just doesn't suffer. It's not just your ministry that suffers. It's also you. I mean, you also suffer personally, because the definition of a weakness, according to Marcus Buckingham, is any activity that makes you feel weak, bored, or drained. Working in areas of your weakness is a recipe for burnout, and you have to stop. So find ways to focus on your strengths and then bring other people around you to help with everything else. You have to aggressively recruit those people who can help you in those areas where you are weak and in the areas where you're not strong. Your future, both professionally and personally, depends on it. Choice number 2, value skills or value feelings. So, you probably have a small group leader right now who just isn't doing a good job. Here's the question. Why don't you release that person of their duties? My guess is that you don't let that person go because either A, you don't have anyone who's willing to take their place right now, or B, you're just afraid to hurt their feelings. Now, here's another example. You probably have a musician right now who isn't really good enough to be leading or playing on the stage. It's just a fact. They show up to play, but they haven't practiced. They don't know the words, so they just stare at the music stand or the confidence monitor the whole time, and they think that they're getting away with it. And you know that you need to have a conversation with that person, but you don't. Why not? I mean, my guess is that you're probably just afraid of hurting their feelings. But here's what you need to understand. Because you continue to avoid that hard conversation, your ministry is suffering. So here's an example. When I was hired at my last church, we had this student praise band that played for our Wednesday night program, and we also had this adult worship leader. He was a pretty young guy, and he was pretty cool. The students liked him, and he would work with the student praise band to kind of get them prepared on Wednesday nights to lead. But the lead singer of this student praise band, he just wasn't good. He lacked confidence to really sing out, and he didn't know how to lead his peers. And we get it. It's tough sometimes to lead your peers, and we didn't have enough money to pay for any other student leader to lead anything. And so I had this idea. I thought, if I could get the adult worship leader to lead for students on Wednesday night, our program would be a lot better, and the students would be a whole lot more engaged during the songs. And then here's an added bonus, was that the kind of the struggling student praise band leader would be able to shadow this guy and learn a lot in the process. So I called a meeting, brought the two of them together, pitched the idea, explained to them, look guys, our music is not good enough. This program is designed to reach new students, but if we're going to reach new students, our music has got to get better. And so what I suggested was what I just told you about, was that the adult worship leader lead on Wednesday nights while the student played next to him and followed his lead. And I was actually kind of surprised that there wasn't any pushback at all. Both those guys were in agreement. I think that they kind of knew, they sensed that something just wasn't quite good enough about the music, and so they totally agreed. We made the change. The music quality went up. Students started to attend more, and I began to wonder. I mean, again, I was kind of new at the church, and I thought, why hadn't the previous youth pastor made that change? And honestly, I don't know, but it was just one of those small choices that held the ministry back. And so when we made the change to value skills over feelings, it propelled our ministry forward. Here you go. Choice number 3. You can work in it or you can work on it. So this was a concept that was popularized by a guy named Michael Gerber in his book called The E-Myth Revisited. And the idea is that we often get caught up running the day-to-day, week-to-week parts of our ministries, and we don't think nearly enough about the systems and structures and goals that will allow us to take things to the next level in the future. In other words, we tend to manage our ministries for today instead of leading them into tomorrow. Here's the deal. Working in it is easy because you just do what you've always done. There's no push, there's no disruption. It's just maintaining the status quo. But on the other hand, working on it is hard because it's exactly the opposite. You push, you disrupt, you dream of new, innovative, different ways to accomplish your mission. When you're working on your ministry, you're always asking the question, how can this be better? And it's working on my ministry that has led me to things that I never thought I'd find. So for example, When I wanted to make our games better, I discovered funninja.org. When I wanted to make our stage better, I discovered churchstagedesignIdeas.com. When I wanted to have better music playing before our service, I discovered Spotify. When I wanted to keep parents better informed, I discovered MailChimp. When I wanted better curriculum, I discovered XP3. When I wanted to show cool, engaging pre-service videos, I found Devin Supertramp on YouTube. When I wanted to improve our graphics, I found Canva.com, where I could work online for free and create better graphics without trying to outsource a graphic design person. When I wanted to engage students better on social media, I found apps like Over and Font Candy. When I wanted a better way to train our volunteers, I found training videos from Download Youth Ministry. I mean, all of these things were discovered when I was asking that question, how can this be better? So you get the point. If I had just gone ahead with the way that I had always done things, my ministry would have gotten stuck. So you have to push forward. You have to find new ways to do things. Rise above the day-to-day and work on your ministry if you're going to get the results that you want. So it's your move. You can keep taking the easy way out, or you can do the harder thing and propel your ministry forward. You can hold your ministry back with those small choices that you're making, or you can unleash your ministry to do bigger and better things than you ever dreamed. Here's the deal. If you do ministry alone, you will hold your ministry back. If you do ministry together, you'll move your ministry forward. If you value feelings, you'll hold your ministry back. If you value skills, you'll move your ministry forward. If you work in it, you'll hold your ministry back. If you work on it, you'll move your ministry forward. 3 small choices that have big consequences in your ministry. And the question for each of those choices is, which one will you choose? So, I hope this video has been helpful for you. Again, I'm Trevor Hamaker, and I help youth pastors make small changes, get big results, and do ministry better. And I do that through coaching and online courses, as well as writing books that are on Amazon.com and blog posts that you can read on betteryouthministry.com. If you want to start doing ministry better, hey, let's work together. I can help you. In the meantime, let's connect. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Better Youth Men, or you can find me on Facebook at Better Youth Ministry. Thanks for watching.